Hi Marlin families, this is Christine and I are here to give you some information on what to pack for the first swim meet and for all the swim meets coming up this summer. Also what you should expect at the swim meets and how much fun your child's going to have. So let's get started. First things first, Christine's just in her regular swimsuit here, but when you go to the swim meets you're going to want to bring along your club suit, and it's a good idea to bring along an extra swimsuit just in case you lose or something happens. Always good to prepare to have extras. Along with your swimsuit, you're going to want to pack at least 2 pairs of goggles. Again, stuff happens. Goggles can break during an event, during a race, or your child may misplace their goggles, which can happen, so remember to bring a couple extra pair of goggles. Which brings us to label everything. Make sure you even label the inside of your goggles, label your swimsuits. I can't emphasize enough, label, label, label. That way if something does go missing, that within the club we can find out whose it belongs to. You're also going to want to bring along swim caps. So again, at the beginning of the season and when you registered, we gave each one of you a silicone swim cap and a latex. Again, depending on allergies or which your child prefers to race with, bring along their swim caps. It does make them faster. And also, it's just fun to be able to have their Marlins cap on when they are swimming so that when we're doing pictures and stuff like that, that we can pick out which swimmer is who, even just by their swim cap. So it's fun to bring along. Bring a couple swim caps if you can. Their water bottle. They want to have lots of water throughout the swim meet. Again, I'll get talking about food here in a moment, but bring their water bottle full of water. You can even put, if you need to, a tiny bit of Gatorade and then fill the rest with water if you want to give them a little bit of extra boost. But again, water, water, water. And label everything. Label your water bottle with either a Sharpie or stuff like Mabel's labels. Make sure that it's labeled properly. I'll get on to food now. Your kids are going to be hungry, so make sure that when you do bring along food, bring along a lot of healthy, nutritious snacks. So, for example, lots of fruit. It's cherry season. Yogurt tubes, fruit like applesauce, granola bars, muffins, crackers, lots of veggies. So kids, when they're doing their events, they are going to have lots of downtime in between their events, depending on how many races they're doing. So you want to make sure that they're grazing throughout the day and eating lots of healthy, nutritious snacks. Nothing, greasy or unhealthy like that, because they need to feel energetic and have their muscles strong for swimming. I'll go back. Sorry, I forgot to mention, when you are packing your stuff, Christine has her very own Speedo backpack. Which is labeled. Again, label your backpack or your duffel bag, however you're bringing your stuff. But good idea to bring along one that's large enough to fit everything in it that the kids need. You can pack a cooler with the food in it, but you want to make sure that their clothing and swimsuits and stuff is in a nice big backpack so that they can stuff their stuff in it. You're also going to want to bring along activities. So stuff like coloring books, iPods, iPads. Again, like I say, there's lots of downtime in between events, or there can be, so you want to make sure that the kids have something to do, and as well, they play. The best thing about swim meets is, of course, watching your child swim, but it's also so much fun for that time when those kids get to be with each other and really form some awesome friendships during the playtime in the marshalling area. Speaking of marshalling area, each swim meet is a little bit different in how we are and where we are marshaled. So we can be in a room as large as a soccer field or in a room as small as a hallway. So you're going to want to bring along stuff that the kids can cozy up in and be comfortable when they are in the marshalling area. We recommend stuff like a robe, so when they are finished swimming, they can hop into their robe real quick and keep warm. Bring along their club t-shirt. Again, it's nice and bright and yellow. Easy to spot that we are the Marlins and that the Marlin kids are there with these awesome bright t-shirts. You can also bring along a sleeping bag or some extra blankets, because that way that when they're in the marshalling area, they can just cozy up in, play on their iPod Color, play with their friends. So as long as they're comfortable and warm, that's what we want. The next thing is, once you get their marshalling area kind of set up, and your kids are nice and comfortable, and you've got the food kind of ready for them and their water, and you feel, you've got your area set up, you're going to want to go get a heat sheet. So it depends on where they sell the heat sheets. You can ask any of the volunteers and they'll be able to direct you to the area where they sell the heat sheets for the swim meet. These can range in price, like I said, anywhere between $2 to $3 roughly, so bring some change. And the heat sheets vary in size depending on the number of swimmers and the number of clubs attending. So I have a few examples here. So last year, the Derrick and the Marlins just did a dual meet. So it's kind of a thinner, smaller heat sheet. We also have the Edmonton Humma from last year, and the Humma swims out of the U of A pools. So this year's meet, again, will be held out of the U of A pool for the Humma meet. And again, it's a little bit thicker, quite a few events. And then we have the Camrose Sea Serpents swim meet, which is held at NAIT. And that's where the meet will be held this year as well. And it's quite a bit thicker, which means there was quite a bit more events, and usually that means a lot more swimmers. So the meets can range from small to large, depending on the meet. In the heat sheet, you're going to find all the events listed, as well as you're going to be looking for your child's name. What you want to do is take your highlighters, so you're going to want to pack in your bag a couple highlighters and a couple black Sharpies. And I'll explain why. You're going to want to look for your child's name all throughout the events. So it'll be listed, for example, event 29, girls 8 and under, 50-meter long back. So if your child is swimming a 50 meters long back, you can look through, find their name, highlight the line, so that you know when you're going through which events your children are swimming in. So take a few minutes, go through the heat sheet very carefully, look for your child's name and under the event name so that you know where to highlight. And then once you've got that done, I apologize, I don't have a black Sharpie on me, which means I've got to go buy one. But I'll show you what you're going to want to do is take your child's arm and you're going to write down the event number, the distance they're going, the event number, the distance, and the stroke. So, for example, if it was number 35, 25 meters back. So that way your child and yourself knows, quickly glancing at their arm, if they're marshalling events 35, oh, my child's ready to be marshaled, then a volunteer, take your child over to the marshalling area to the volunteers. It's also a fun way. That's what makes summer swim clubs so much fun. Kids love to draw on each other and draw on their arms, so parents can write these on. So in case you're not around when your child's event number is called, that your child will be able to look down and see on their arm that they are being marshaled. So that's kind of the gist here, at this point, of stuff that you should know regarding upcoming swim meets. It's so much fun. I'm so glad and happy to see so many of you coming. And again, if you have any questions, you can ask any one of us on the executive. Thank you so much for listening. Have an awesome day.